chapter 1 complete! How exciting! So far we've got the 500 gold that we started with. 100 intellect, so again that's our strength, so we started with a very high amount of intellect and a low amount of strength and just kind of neutral charm and kindness. Several weeks later, we were at our destination, the city of Jarkonia. It was a large, bustling city full of rushed travelers and merchants advertising their rare items for sale. With everything else going on, I was relieved to find that hardly anyone noticed us despite our strange appearances. While here, I have some personal business to take care of. In the meantime, you might want to have a look around town. It is only a suggestion, of course. I will meet you at the inn when I'm done. I have already reserved a room for you. Well, since I have some time, I might as well go exploring. There's a lot to do in town. The shop is a great place to buy items or work in order to earn money and charm. At the library, I can brush up on my reading or teach a class to increase my intelligence. The training hall provides a place where I can prepare for combat and work on my strength. The church is always looking for volunteers, which can increase my kindness level. And when I'm ready to move on, I can rest at the inn. What should I do? Alright, so this is one of the action periods that I mentioned earlier. The main goal of these action periods is just to do activities that build up your stats. This actions remaining label up here is newly added with the new version because as I was playtesting it. Yes, for sure. The personal business that CHAEL'S taking care of. Yeah, probably. But yeah, so I was playtesting and was like, gee, I wish I knew how many actions I could do. So I had this label. It's a long time coming, but very useful. So what this means is we can do 3 actions to increase our stats. There are some actions that don't actually take energy, like buying items. Hello, how may I help you today? So we can buy, or we can work as a sales clerk. You have 500 gold remaining. What would you like to buy? This is my cheap and easy way of letting the player know how much money they have. Now, why would the store person know how much money you have? That's a good question. Alright, we got lots of items here. Most of these are meant to boost stats, as mentioned. A gift of fanciful flowers. I believe that is kindness. Penniless Princess's travel kit is charm. Secret stealth knives is strength. And sinister spellbook for beginners is intelligence. Pristine princess potion is a charm, as it says. I don't even know how to say that. Potent puissance potion is strength. Brain boosting book is intelligence, and concentrated compassion concoction is obviously kindness. Then we've got the map. I kind of regret making this cost money, but if you want to look at that, it tells you basically a little bit of explanation about the different regions and where you currently are on the map, which is pretty cool. And the Wondrous Wardrobe modifier, which lets you customize your character from, you know, a few different colors. And eventually, as you unlock them, you'll be able to select different accessories as well. But for the purposes of getting CHAEL'S good ending, we're gonna buy this brain boosting book, which is gonna take all of my gold. Supposedly, this stuff will make you smarter instantly. I wonder if I should try some. Should I buy this item? Yes. You now have 0 gold. Alright, never mind. So I could work as a sales clerk. Probably my next goal here is to make some money back, right? Now that I spent it all. So I could work as a sales clerk to make some money. But I'm going to go to the library. Welcome to the library, the center for useful information. What would you like to do? So I can do some research, take a class, or teach a class, or return to town. So teaching a class is probably what I'm gonna do. But before I do that, I'm gonna do some research. So each of the personality types has its own little mini game. And the one for intelligence is that you are investigating or researching this mystery about kind of the history of the continent and how the Nalani and Pyrolans actually used to be one people and they split apart. Anyway, so we're gonna do some research first. I was a bit curious about Nalan after meeting CHAEL, so I did some research. I feel like I can understand him a lot better now. What should I do? And we're gonna go back to the library, and like I mentioned, let's teach a class. Wow, that was so refreshing. My students were great and asked some really stimulating questions. I think they ended up teaching me more than I taught them, but sometimes that's just the way it works. I earned 120 gold. Woohoo! I've got 1 action remaining. I could just rest to the inn if I wanted to just continue on, but I think I'll do one more thing. I could go back to the library and teach another class, but I think I'm gonna volunteer at the church. Welcome, welcome. I could really use your help. What would you like to do today? So I can find a lost item, console the grieving, or donate to the needy. And see, any of these obviously will increase kindness. Kindness is CHAEL'S secondary stat, I believe. So he doesn't prefer it as much as intelligence, but developing kindness will also increase his affection. And I think we're gonna do... We don't want to donate, we'll lose money. Let's do find lost item. I spent several hours helping a particularly chatty woman look for her lost purse. But while it wasn't the most amusing way to spend my time, it was well worth it. The woman even gave me a generous reward for helping her. A whole 200 gold. Wow, this is pretty nice. Whew, I'm really beat. Time to get some rest. But it doesn't look like CHAEL is here yet, and there's still a bit of light outside. Perhaps I'll get out of the city for a bit then. I'm not used to such crowded places. The fresh air may do me some good. The city looked so much more beautiful from afar, and the mountains were beautiful too. I was glad that I had decided to come out here. But that's when I saw him, a depressed-looking man staring off into the sunset. Those wings. He must be an angel too, but it seems strange for there to be another one here. Excuse me, but is something wrong? Just a little homesick is all. Nothing to last like you needs to worry about. Why don't you just go home then? Judging from your appearance, you're from Pyralis, right? You're practically already there. I can't go home. I can never go back there as long as I live. I waited for him to go on, but he stood there in silence, refusing to face me. Want to talk about it? I'm a good listener. The man finally turned around to face me, and I immediately noticed the dark scar across his eye, and the black eye patch that tried to conceal the damage. He must have noticed my look because he pointed to it. When I lost my eye, I lost my pride as a warrior. I went from being the undefeated champion of my nation to being some sort of cripple, a disgrace to my kingdom, and more importantly, a disgrace to my queen. When she discharged me from the military I devoted my life to, it was the same as condemning me to death. I have nothing left, there or anywhere. Way to be dramatic, and also info dump your whole life story. That's so sad, or get a hold of yourself. I think we'll take the pity route here. That's so sad. I can't believe your own creator would do something like that to you. That's horrible. Tell me about it. I don't know what to do anymore. Well, I'm sure you'll figure out something. I believe in you. Thanks, lass. I'll keep that in mind. So this is actually a unique scene for if you're playing as the intelligent personality type. Each of them has a unique scene with the love interest who prefers that type. So this is CHAEL'S unique scene. So CHAEL, how was your day? It was fine. And yours? It was great. I did all sorts of things today. I was surprised to find some interesting books on Nalan at the library. It sounds like a really beautiful place. Is that all you have to say about it? What do you mean by that? Nothing. I suppose I'm just used to people being frightened by it. They fear what they do not understand, and my world is one thing most people could never comprehend. That's because it's so weird. Or, I'm not afraid. I think we'll go with the positive response here. It's a different culture from what I'm used to, yes, but that doesn't mean it's frightening. I think it's quite intriguing, really. Well, I'm glad you're so open-minded, Princess, though I'm not surprised. You look as if you have some Nalani blood yourself. I can tell you more about Nalan sometime, if you would like. I would love that. The next morning, we set out to leave. However, before we could get very far, I heard a familiar voice calling after us. Oi, wait up! Hey, what are you doing here? I thought you were gonna go out and make something of yourself. I am, with you. Excuse me? You seem like a good lass, someone who will accomplish great things. I want to help lift you up and be there when you do. I can be your bodyguard or something. He gestured towards my frowning companion. Unless the position is taken up by that one. Sure, you can join us, or... Sorry, I already have a bodyguard. My subtle refusal didn't seem to faze the young man. He was determined to join us no matter what. Well, I'll be your cook then. He does the cooking too, so you see there's really no need for you to... Then I can be your navigator. I've traveled around this area quite a bit in my lifetime, and I know where all the best places are. That's really not necessary. We'll be... Oh, I know. I'll be your entertainer. Whenever you need a laugh, I'll provide you with all the jokes you could ever need. It'll boost morale and keep you going through the tough times, and I'll even do it for free. You say you're having some buffering issues, but I don't know. According to my software, no dropped frames or anything. Maybe it's just on your side. Alright. With a sigh, I turned and started walking, the ever-serious CHAEL right beside me, and obviously not taking the hint. The black-clad angel followed close behind with a triumphant smile on his face. Thus, Corellia the Powerful became the newest member of our little group. So, even though we spent all of our gold, we actually got quite a bit back. We got 320. We gained a lot of intellect. Gained a little bit of charm and some kindness as well. And now we've got both CHAEL and Corellia in our party. Yeah, I think it's interesting, you know, the scene with CHAEL where they're talking about how his culture is so different, and how the people are, you know, especially like Tyracans are afraid of them. So CHAEL comes from the nation of Nalan, which is named for the forest of Nalan. It's one big, like, rainforest. And the people who live there are these elves with white skin, white hair. They're governed by the priestesses of order, who serve the goddess of order, obviously. And so it's a matriarchal theocracy, and the Holy Mother is, you know, CHAEL mentioned, is at the top, and there's a lot of fear and mistrust. There was already, even before the War of Nations, but now that they've been at war for a decade, there's a lot of hostility there between the Tyracans and the Nalani. So when he talks about how, you know, most of the Tyracans he's met are, you know, really scared of him. That's why. It's a whole thing. Oh yeah, I didn't even get into the magic. So in Nalan, the priestesses have magic, and it's a whole thing. In Tyraka, magic is outlawed and has been outlawed for a long time. There was a whole thing where some mages tried to take the throne forcefully, back when the Empire was still the Four Kingdoms. And so there's a lot of, like, in the Tarakan Empire, among those cultures and those regions, there's a lot of fear and mistrust around magic as well. And so, you know, these crazy witches from this weird alien forest, they're really scary. So, but I never actually explored any of that, so that's why I mentioned it. Good times. Good background lore that you'll never get anywhere else. It had been a week since Corellia joined CHAEL and I on our travels, but we didn't get far before the boys' clashing ideas put us at a standstill. CHAEL and Corellia, being from two rival nations that have been bitter enemies for centuries, refused to get along with each other. Any little thing could set them off, from a slightly overcooked meal to something CHAEL interpreted as suggestive aimed at me. This time, the fight was about where we should go next. We should head north towards Duggery Village. I heard that they've been having problems with bandits there lately. If we can take them out, we can probably earn some sort of payment, as well as find valuable allies. No way, man. I say we should head south along the border. The demons around there can be really rowdy, and there are many small villages around there that could use our help. That would take us too close to the Pyrolan capital. It's too dangerous. We should go north, as I said. We'd be fine. I know this area like the back of my hand. I could get us past the capital without a problem, so we should go south, like I told you. The two angels glared fiercely at each other, growling as if daring the other to attack. Then they suddenly turned to me and waited for my input. So I can agree with CHAEL, agree with CHAEL, or play a game to decide the winner. And since we're romancing CHAEL, let's go with that. Sorry, CHAEL, but I'm gonna have to agree with CHAEL on this one. CHAEL nodded approvingly, obviously satisfied with my decision. Was that even the hint of a smile I saw? Well, if the lady wants to go north, then we'll go north. We'll pack up and head out first thing tomorrow morning. Until then, feel free to wander around the area. It looks like I have some free time to spend around camp. I can visit CHAEL to chat and earn charm, or have a discussion to increase my intelligence. Or I can visit CHAEL to chat, or ask him to train me to increase my strength. If I'm in a helpful mood, I can help out around camp and earn kindness points. When I'm ready to move on, I can rest. What should I do? So we're in another little action period. The camp menu is significantly smaller, more compact than the ones you find in cities and towns. But all the same kinds of things are still covered, other than obviously there's no shop to buy stuff, but there's actions that can increase your intelligence and strength and charm and kindness, right? But what is unique about these action periods is that you can talk to each of the characters and get to know them a little better. Don't you have somewhere better to be, princess? Way to be nice, CHAEL. I'm sorry that I ended up dragging you into this mess. There's nothing for you to apologize for, princess. This was my choice. Do you regret it? Not at all. For the first time in my life, I feel like a person rather than that woman's pet. It's a liberating feeling. But don't you miss your home? Of course I do, but I still stick by my decision. And what about you, princess? Do you regret coming with me? Not at all, or maybe a little. We'll go with the positive one here. Before this, I had only been out of the castle once or twice. The rest of the time, Osiris kept me locked away in the castle. I've seen so many new and interesting things while traveling with you, and I too felt the wonderful feeling of liberation. I do miss my home, of course, and I miss Durin too, but I think it was time for me to leave, and I'm glad I did. I'm happy to hear that, princess. I'm glad you did too. He's already had a green heart, guys. What should I do? We are going to visit CHAEL again because he acts like he's not happy to see us, but I know the truth, CHAEL. I know the truth. So the talk option is now gone. We've exhausted that. We can discuss strategy to increase intelligence, but I'm actually here for this ask about Nalan option. Again, this ties into the mini game that's specific to the intelligent personality type. You want to know more about Nalan? Yes, I really do. There's so little information about it at the castle, and even what I found in the last town wasn't very descriptive. Very well. In order to understand my people, you must first understand how Nalan came to be. Have you heard the story of creation? No. In Tyreka, everything written before Osiris's reign was destroyed. I assumed as much. In my experience, humans prefer to live in ignorance. That's where we'll begin our story, then. In the beginning, there were two powerful beings, a god and a goddess. Together, they created this world. The goddess had the power of order and created everything that is light and pure. She bestowed upon her world the name Nalan and created a group of wise, mysterious creatures to inhabit it. Her first gift to them was the power of light, which is the source of all life. Her second gift to them was the power to speak without words, for words can be misinterpreted, thoughts cannot. Her third gift to them was the power to change their surroundings, which allowed them to develop advanced technology. This power is what humans call magic. Finally, she gave them a lush forest to live in, where they would be free from the influence of the outside world. That is how the nation of Nalan was born. I feel like part of this story is missing. What about the god who helped create the world? I suppose I'll have to do some more research to find out. What should I do? I have one action left. Let's go talk to Karile and see what he wants to talk about. Hey Zuleika, what's up? So I can talk or ask to train, which will increase strength, but let's just talk. How exactly did a pretty princess like yourself end up here with that guy? I figured you would have been crowned by now with the Emperor dead and all. So I can say CHAEL saved me, or the princess thing didn't exactly work out. CHAEL saved me. It was a dark, stormy night. There I was, locked away in the highest point of the highest tower, waiting for my Prince Charming to come and rescue me. Just then, a magnificent white angel burst into my room. He said, "Come with me, princess. I'll make you my bride and save you from this wretched place." And of course, I said yes. His bride, huh? I suppose that just means I'll have to try that much harder. What do you mean by that? That night, I was having a hard time sleeping. I was excited about the road ahead, but I was also a little apprehensive. There were a dozen things that could go wrong, and every time I closed my eyes, I started going through them in my head. Since I couldn't sleep, I decided that I might as well leave camp for a while. I soon realized, however, that I wasn't the only one having trouble sleeping. My two companions had already left camp, each going their separate way. This would probably be a great time to connect with them. So I can stargaze with CHAEL, or explore with Karile, or just go to bed if I don't feel like talking to them. But I'm gonna stargaze with CHAEL. The lush mountains of the Pyrolan border really were beautiful, and I enjoyed looking out at the scenery. Whenever I did, I felt overwhelmingly thankful that I had left the castle. Otherwise, I would have never seen such beautiful sights. It was all thanks to this man. I smiled at the thought. Good evening, princess. To what do I owe this pleasure? I was just having a hard time getting to sleep, so I thought I'd come out here and admire the view for a bit. I see. I haven't thanked you yet. Thanked me for what? For taking my hand, for trusting me, for not being afraid. It meant a lot to me. I was shocked to see an actual smile, or something close, on his face. It was truly a beautiful smile, as expected from such a beautiful man. I should be the one thanking you. You risked everything to spare my life. I am truly in your debt. No, I am forever in yours. No! Poor Zuleika. She will find her way back, I promise. This isn't that kind of game. Not yet, anyway. Don't mind the awful content warnings, I promise. She'll be back. In return, allow me to grant you a peaceful slumber tonight. It's the least I can do. Sweet dreams, princess. Before I knew what hit me, I was in a deep, peaceful sleep without a single nightmare to plague me. And that's funny, just in the context of the... And she was never seen again. No, I promise. He's the good guy, okay?